Ding. I forgot to. Where am I? There I am. Oh my goodness. All the technical stuff is broken. Gerissar's a noob. Hey, it's July the 7th, 2020, and you know why you guys are here. So let's kick this off wrong, apparently. And we're going to introduce the players. I'm Gerissar, a PvP Padawan. Unfortunately, Andelin couldn't make it tonight, and Winstead's still working. So it's just going to be me and Vezir. Hey, Vezir, how's it going?
It's going fine. I'm really excited to be here, man.
I'm excited to have you here, because otherwise I'd be all by
Right.
myself, and that's not a good podcast. So, but hey, first, your name's not. I don't think a lot of people know who you are. Maybe I'm wrong. You sound like when we were talking back and forth, you said you've played against some of the rank 1 players out there in Europe, and you've competed in a few of the tournaments. But instead of me trying to brag about you, why don't you brag about yourself and just let our listeners know who you are?
Well, first of all, I'm Vezir. Like, nice to meet you, all of you. People don't usually know me. I'm not a famous player. I'm not a rank win or a gladiator person.
Well, not
Um,
yet.
Not yet, of course. I'm a streamer, and I play a lot of World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
My main is Boomkin, so we're here. That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
I've competed in a lot of tournaments since Legion. I tried to play in Legion. I played against some rank 1 teams. Of course, I lost. I played recently in two of the cups in BFA, AWC, and there was some success, to be honest. But yeah, I played against a lot of people there,
Nice.
including Wildcard Gaming, which was probably one of the best matches that I've lost to. It was amazing.
That's awesome. Uh, just quickly, how was that, or how did you feel like trying to find players to play with, to build a team, to then go on to the tournament realm, to then face some, like I said, Wildcard Gaming, one of the number one teams for Europe and in the cups lately. How did that feel? I was kind of curious.
Um, it's really easy actually to get to the tournament realm since it's open for everyone. You just need to find two other people that are ready to be with you, to play with you, and then you need to make plans when you want to train, what gear you want to do. You can see other rank 1 people there. You can steal some gear tactics and stuff like that. Be cheeky with it. Um,
Cool.
but it's not that easy as it looks like. Like when you're in the arena, um, they just go with you with full power. You don't know what actually is happening.
Oh wow. Really? See, that's okay. It always looked more strategic to me when I watch people when they're playing. So, but I guess I mean that makes sense if they can open up and just go full power and just move on to the next match. Like it's all about winning, right? So, uh, I'm
Yeah.
all right. Well, hey. Well, why don't we, instead of talking about the cups, why don't we talk about what we've been up to, pretty much since our last show, so the last 2 weeks for you there, Vezir. How about you start? What have you been up to these last couple weeks?
I've only been trying to, I've been basically playing Warrior since the start of this patch. I kind of dropped it out because I kind of gave up on that class. There was just too many stuff that are wrong with it. I tried really hard on it, just didn't happen for me. Then I just decided to play Boomkin.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Boom Element worked in Arena. I was like, I think I'll get back to my class. And the things went uphill from there. So I've been just gearing my Balance Druid on Alliance and Horde and my Monk. That's all.
Nice.
Really hard grind.
Yeah. How are you finding the grind right now, with all the catch up and the corruption vendors that they put in and all that? How are you finding it?
I think the catch up is just not enough.
Right.
This needs to be increased. It's okay. It's good that they have added the clock upgrades
Mm-hmm.
in the vendor. I believe that's just not enough because they cost echoes, and if you spend your echoes on getting the cloak upgrades, you won't be having corruption to spend echoes on.
Yes.
So that's kind of,
Chicken and the egg.
yeah. It's kind of unfair, but it is what it is. We can't
Yep.
change Blizzard, so.
No. That's... Well, they are listening. I mean, we've seen a bunch of really good changes show up for Shadowlands, and the fact that they even put in corruption vendors in that sounds like they are listening a bit. It's just they're not just giving everything, I guess. So, all right then. Well, I guess for myself, I've been doing a little bit of grinding still. I had a great amount of fun this last weekend. Because I finished. People that have been listening, they know I was doing some French training in that, so I finished it. And so this weekend I didn't have any homework, I didn't have any French to do, and I had no kids. So I basically nerded out and played a whack ton of World of Warcraft, and I had a great time actually. Ended up plugging in some LFGs for tanking some mythic pluses, learning how to do that on my prop pally. And I got in to do a few arenas with a friend of mine, Ken, over on. He was Horde for the last couple seasons, but then he switched back to Alliance recently, so that was cool. Got to play with him. And I'm trying to think what else. That was pretty much it. And I got my Demon Hunter to 120, so I started leveling one of my alts. And oh my goodness. Oh, speaking of which, so because it's fair. It's oh my goodness, I'm having a hard time. It's because it's Dark Moon Fair week, so they have the Wii buffs. So that's 10%, and then they have the 50% bonus because it's World Quest week. So that's an extra. So that's a plus 60% for rep. So I'm gonna go and do a bunch of rep grinds and see if I can. Get the rest of my exalteds that I haven't got yet on my main.
I should get some too.
Yeah.
I need to get. I think it was champions, so they haven't played, or just they haven't played reputation.
Okay.
I just haven't got it yet, but it's fine. It's not something that it's really mandatory for me. I haven't leveled the character in months. It's like I forgot how to level characters.
I actually forgot as well, but I went and downloaded the Azeroth automatic pilot, and it just tells me where to go. So it like completes everything for me, it kills all the quest scene or the cutscenes and everything. So it's literally just shut the brain off, follow the dots. It even has waypoints for like the fastest path to get from point A to point B. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it also I think sells your items like the gray stuff that you get from NPCs.
Yeah, you can have it set
automatically sells them.
You can totally set it up to it can automate so much. It's like on the cusp of being illegal. It's just the point where you have to click. If they remove that having to click on things, it would be a full bot. So, but all right. So I think that's about it. Wow, we're really rifling through this. Usually this takes about 15 minutes with everybody on here, so I'm a little discombobulated.
Just two of us.
Yeah, it's all good. But let's move into our first segment with the need, greed, and pass.
This likely won't be a clean, alright? So keep your distance, sorry!
All right, yes. So in this segment, one of the hosts, it's going to be me obviously, is going to pose a scenario with 3 options related to WoW. The participants need to decide which option they will need, which they will greed, and which they will pass. So let the hilarity commence as we will decide on what we will need, greed, and pass. And I'm also going to throw this one out to the listeners. When you're listening at home or listening live, send in your answers to us too. I would love to hear what your guys' opinions are on my idea. So normally what we've been doing is we talk a little bit of a scenario and give which thing of the scenario, which one we need, definitely want, which one we agreed, okay, kinda, and which one we're going to pass on, no thank you very much. I'm going to change it up a little bit. So what this is going to be is we're going to talk classes. And so need is it's a class that you need. Like it's perfect. It's good as it is. You don't want it changed whatsoever when it comes into Shadowlands. Greed is the one that you want to have it changed somewhat. There's something modified. Have it modified. And the pass is the one that you want the class to be deleted and never to show up again in World of Warcraft.
My favorite.
So I'm going to throw it. I'm assuming I'll give you a second here, but I'm going to throw it to you there, Vezir, and you tell me which class you want to keep as it is, which class you want to get changed, and which class you just want absolutely erased from the face of Azeroth.
I think I'm ready already with the answers
Right.
about this, to be honest.
Fire it away.
So, starting with the need, the needs is kind of hard because I feel like every class needs to be changed in Shadowlands. So the need probably should go to the monks. I think they should go to the monks because they're the same since a few patches now. I mean, few expansions. I think they have been changed, of course, but they don't feel like they need something more. Maybe they need some more passive damage, not like passive, but like more base damage outside of their burst window.
Okay.
But I'm also okay with the current stuff that they have as well, so it's fine. I'll set the monk to the needs section.
Okay.
And how many classes do we need to put for need?
Just one. Just one.
Just one. Oh, that's even harder. Okay. It's kind of because when we get to the past section, I have like few classes about this.
All right.
And now for the greed section, we must have the Boomkin there, definitely. It needs to be modified for sure.
Yep.
I'm gonna put my Boomkin there.
All right.
And the one that gets a pass.
Yeah.
Now this is a hard question because I need to choose between mage and rogue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know which one is gonna be like more more broken, so to speak, because right now, whenever a rogue kidney shots you, you just die instantly.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you have a like burst or not. It happened to me today, a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yikes.
I'm just surprised. It just deleted me. I was full HP. But yeah, I think I'll give it to rogues.
All right. That sounds like a valid reason.
Yeah, because of today, I think I'm going to give it to rogues.
Okay.
Like, so unfair.
I like it. I like it. You actually kind of that was a hard one. So for me, I'm going to need on warlocks. I like where they are. Definitely on the Destro. I like Destro. Destro has with all the corruption and everything, it's really fun to play right now. And I know a bunch of people think that it's a bit brain dead or whatever, and it just erases people. Which, as a person playing it, it's a lot of fun. That said, I have also been erased, and I just shake it off and go on to the next fight because I expect it. If I'm destroying people, I expect to be destroyed. For the greed for being changed, I'm actually gonna put rogues in the greed. I think they need to be changed. The assassination spec is just a little too strong. Being able to just delete people is annoying. When they're sitting in a full stun like that, you can't even do anything, right? So I think that needs to go away somewhat, and as well, like the outlaw. It's not a bad spec, but I think it needs a little bit of love, and the subtlety definitely needs some love. So that's why I'm going to do that. And for delete, for pass, I'm actually going to agree with some people in chat. I'm going to say Demon Hunter. I think Demon Hunter just needs to be deleted. It's fun to play. Don't get me wrong, and the lore behind it is kind of cool. It's kind of fun, but I just find like some of the abilities, they just seem to be a borrow from everybody else. It like, it doesn't it feels like it's just like it's basically the same thing. It's just under a different name, and it feels like it's missing something. I think it's had its time, and I think the demon hunters need to go away like Legion did, especially now that we're going to Shadowlands. So that's my opinion. Again, throw it to the listeners. Love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are. I see some people talking in chat, so live right now. And by all means, just a reminder, we do this live, so you could be here talking in chat as well. Yes,
That's great. I think I agree to some degree. With your opinion about the need passant and the grid.
thanks.
I think I do agree about the warlocks and the rogue stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely needs to be changed. For demon hunters, I think I have an idea how to balance that.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we need to test that. So you're probably familiar with Mr. Pandaria expansion, right?
Oh yeah.
That's like my favorite expansion. That's the expansion I'm the best version of me, and on my Boomkin.
Yep.
Now, I believe if all the abilities that we had in Mr. Pandaria are back, basically all the class design for each class is back, and we just put Demo Hunter there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Demo Hunters wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, they would, but it wouldn't be as obvious right now
Okay.
because people really are complaining about Demo Hunter. I am as well, to be honest. And I feel like if you put Demo Hunter in an environment where everyone has everything, just like he has everything, he will struggle a little bit more.
Okay.
And it seems to be equal to the rest of as well, like class design wise.
I understand what you're saying, and it's funny you bring that up because I remember I was talking, I was in a discussion with some people and they were asking me what my opinion was of of all the expansions, what's the best one for PvP, and immediately the first one that popped into mind was Mr. Pandaria. It seemed to be one of the better for PvP. It seemed to be one of the better expansions. So totally agree.
Yeah. I have asked actually multiple streamers like Bajira, Snuts, Big Poike, Zpi, which is from Watka Gaming, and I believe there is some more.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them actually pointed out Mr. Pandaria.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It was a very good expansion.
For classes.
PvP, yeah.
Yeah.
The way the classes felt and just how they interacted, it was really good. All right.
I just don't understand why Blizzard doesn't go with that way again. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, actually, that's a darn good question. I feel like they're trying to go back. With the great unpruning that Holink is doing. I'd be really interested to see what the classes feel like. I haven't had a chance to really play a lot of them in the alpha. To really feel like how they feel in PvP, because there's not a lot of PvP over on alpha. Everybody's just doing PvE stuff. So I'd be really interested to see how that feels. Why Blizzard doesn't go back to it. I wonder if it's because some of the systems that were in Mr. Pandaria that have been now removed and don't exist, or won't exist in Shadowlands, is the reason why they can't. I could be wrong on that, but the only people that could answer that would be Blizzard.
Yeah.
I'll have to write that question down, actually, next time we get a chance to talk to somebody from Blizzard. That'd be kind of cool.
I would love to speak with the PvP developer about everything that's going on, because I'm pretty sure if they make the classes very similar to Mr. Pandaria and how they were played, I don't think there will be anyone complaining about this. Now, sure, there will be some portion of the people that play WoW that will be unhappy. Yeah. But I believe at least 90% of people, the people that play WoW will be happy again.
I think you have a good point there. Well, As I tell everybody, don't ever wait. Go ahead and just talk to them through the forum posts and through Twitter and whatnot, through Reddit, because I'm aware that they're paying attention. Definitely on their own forums, they're definitely paying attention, and that data is getting aggregated to the developers. But why don't we talk about, speaking of upcoming changes and whatnot, why don't we talk about the upcoming PvP events, and then we'll roll through the rest of this wonderful podcast of ours.
Yeah.
Get in there and fight! Stop hiding!
Yes, let's get in there and fight. Man, I love that clip. Shoot, I guess you can't hear it. I have a bunch of clips from the in-game. So that one is the Ogre King from Blade's Edge. And it tells you,
Oh,
get in there and fight! Stop hiding! All right.
that's specifically for rogues.
Yes. Well, hey, and Boomkins, you guys will stealth around in kitty form for a while until we try to get you out.
Yeah, but that's true.
Well, talking about upcoming PvP events, I know Dalaran Gaming has been doing some of his 5v5, 1v1 duels. Again, though, I think he's been a little bit busy. So you have to go check out his Twitter feed to keep an eye on that. Also, I found out there's a really, really cool one coming up. It's being hosted by Ready Raider. They're doing a classic 2v2 arena-style tournament using the war game feature that has been put into Classic. So, yeah. So this is going to be really interesting. So this is going to be happening on the 19th and the 26th of July. So it's over those 2 days. I'm going to have a link in the show notes, like always, for everybody. It's going to be free to register. They have a $1,000 prize pool for the top 3 teams. And it's not truly arena, but it's going to be arena-like. So that said, it's because it's over Classic and they're using the war game feature over there. It's going to be server-specific. They've already named a few, but they have left open the possibility of other Classic servers, depending, obviously, how it plays out. So if you want to go check that out, and if you want to try doing some 2v2 arena-like matches, I'm actually pretty excited about this. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I wonder what map they're going to use for it.
Yeah, that was actually what I was wondering about. How are they going to recreate arenas there when the arena doesn't exist?
I think what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to war game in Warsong Gulch, and it's probably going to be just out in the middle. That's the only thing I can think of, but in a way that kind of makes it hard because all those tree stumps in Classic don't loss. They have no line of sights. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Anyway, we'll find out on the 19th.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. Speaking, that's it for community stuff that I'm aware of. Again, listeners, if you guys know something, please let us know. The official esports from Blizzard is going to be the MDI Global Finals this weekend, which is going to be EU versus NA. I'm super excited about this. And then also we have the AWC BFA circuit that is going to start up in August. So on the 22nd of August, we have the first week of that. And that's going to go for 4 weeks straight till the 13th of September. So all those weekends, 4 weekends of esports. And it's this, I think it's a Swiss-style circuit. And then from that, they're going to pick the top EU and top NA teams. And we're going to have the finals in those two regions on the 26th and the 27th of September for EU and NA, respectively. So that's it that I'm aware of for esports that's coming up. And again, hey, if you want to play something, if you want to do something, don't hesitate to make it up yourself. There's the tools are in the game. But now we can actually get to why we're here, and we'll get into the subject of analysis and talk about balanced druids.
I'm gonna light you up, sweet cheeks.
Yes, here we are. The reason why we're here, the reason why Vezir's here, so we can pick his brain. And honestly, I'm pretty excited because we have not talked about druids, well, specifically balanced druids, since back in Legion. So it's been it's been a few years. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how fast time flies. It's been like for how long BFA's been around, and now if you think back how long ago Legion was, like that was a few years ago.
Yeah, I started playing Legion Season 3 though,
Oh, okay.
and I kind of missed the fun part about the Boomkins since it was, the Starfall was really OP in the
Hmm.
start of it, and they then nerfed it to the ground, so it became useless. So sad.
That wow wow. It's I think that's one of the hardest things about a class is when is performing really well, and then what is performing about it gets so overly nerfed that it becomes irrelevant in PvP. And I never understood that because, well, I understand that process, but since they put in all the PvP tuning knobs, as far as I understood, they really did a bunch of that nerfing because of how balanced druids were interacting in PvE and not really about PvP. So I'm really surprised they didn't nerf on the one, but then kind of buff back up on the PvP side to keep Boomkins relevant. Um,
Yeah.
unless it's just too difficult. It was just too difficult to do, and they had to do something, and it is what it is.
I
But
mean, there is an option to buff them instead of buffing Starfall.
mhm,
But I guess it wasn't necessary because the rest of the stuff for Boomy was performing great. Like for example, you could one-shot someone with full moon and 4-star surges. They just instantly die. I've done that. It's really fun, but
okay,
it's not fun when you play against, you have like such a long cast, and then you need
yep,
to connect, but you can't connect because you're slowed from a rogue all the time. Even if you shapeshift, it takes you ages to actually run away. You can't even run away. It's impossible to run away
yep.
with a boomkin from basically any melee class except warrior.
Which is interesting because Warrior's extremely mobile.
They used to be very mobile in the game. Yeah,
Yeah, huh? I know. I have a balanced druid that I as an alt, and I hop on every once in a while. And if I ever go to do world PvP or something like that, I get really frustrated really quickly because same reason. Like I'm having to constantly shapeshift. It's just eating all my GCDs. I can't do anything else
yeah.
because I'm too busy bouncing back and forth between ships. It's just, well, this is going to be a really fun podcast. Let's talk about it. So, first and foremost, we always like to talk about the roles. So, obviously, a balanced druid, its main goal is to do damage when it can. Uh, now, as far as heals or off heals, though, as a balanced druid, you can actually do some pretty good off heals, right? Using regrowth and that.
Yeah, the off healing was at its finest in Mists of Pandaria, where you just pop out of the wild and you press Annie's healing touch, and if you get lucky and you crit,
Mm-hmm.
you just live as that guy basically. And the same thing kind of happens if you scenario in the world as well with Heart of the Wild, and if you have your trinket procs and stuff like that,
Nice.
which you really increase your healing or damage output.
Okay.
So like Boomkins was a completely skill class in Mists of Pandaria. Now, and I haven't played Warlords of Draenor.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, what about let's talk about BFA then at least. Let's talk about right now instead of what's happened in the past. What how are the off heals now?
they were good in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think most people were. I think they're trying to go with Restoration Infinity. I believe they nerfed that in PvP,
Yep.
so they just dropped it out forever. Like there is no. I haven't seen a druid using Restoration Infinity in PvP since that nerf.
Yeah, I think they all just do Guardian Affinity for protection.
Praise the region.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
So
So,
they just heal with regrowth.
which makes sense. I mean, it's a cast anyways, right? So better to
Yeah.
pop off on a little hot. Okay. And then supports. The support. I think this is the part where Boomkins really shine is the support side of the class with the CCs that they have, right? Because you have
Yeah.
you have Whirlwind if you talent into it, right? Uh,
Um, Yeah, you have. I believe you can choose Vortex.
Okay.
If you talent into it. Maybe I'm wrong. No, no, actually I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Boomkins don't have Vortex.
No,
Only
they don't.
Restoration has Vortex.
Yeah.
Um, so they have you choose between Typhoon, Mass Entanglement, and Bash. Uh, if you play against Race to the Reed, you never choose Mass Entanglement. And in other scenarios, you always choose Bash.
Of
Like
course.
I don't think anyone uses Typhoon. Maybe it's good in Blaze Age Arena, so we can kind of cheeky knock them off the bridge. But that spell has been nerfed, so like the range is like 15 yards. You need to
Hmm.
be close to them actually.
Oh wow. You have to be like right on top of them almost.
Yeah, which is really weird. Like this is it's a wind spell. It's not a melee spell. It's really weird. But
Eh,
I haven't noticed that change since I actually tried. I was like, I don't want to play Bash. I don't want to play Root. I'm just gonna pick Typhoon and have some fun.
Yep.
Let's see if I can invent something new. First Typhoon and nothing happened. I was like, what? Where's my Typhoon? Where's my Typhoon? I wanted to
Yeah.
interrupt that guy's cast, but
Uh, and I'm sure if you decide to hop up and start running at the person, they'll know exactly what you're trying to do, so they'll just run away and okay.
I believe at the moment they will not guess that you try to Typhoon them because no one plays that talent. They will most
Right.
likely think that you will bash them.
Yep. But either way, I mean, you have to be within melee range to do that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
all right. So you have Whirlwind, you have Bash, Typhoon, if you talent into it. Mass Entanglement. Well, you have Entanglement to begin with, which is a root. It's just whether or not you talented to do it as Mass Entanglement, right? So,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, since we kind of already started tipping toeing into the actual talent tree, why don't we run through the talent tree and actually talk about what is available? So here, hold on. Oh my gosh, I'm falling behind on things. I need to bring this up so I can read it while I talk. All right. So here we go. So into the first row here. So I'm pulling right off of the Wowhead just so that it's easier to read. Hopefully, it's all up to date. Usually, they're pretty good there.
Yeah.
So in the first row, we have Nature's Balance, which is while in combat, you generate 2 astral power every 3 seconds, and while you're out of combat, your astral power rebalances to 50 instead of depleting to empty, which is really handy because then you
Very
have
handy.
all right. Warrior of a Loon. Your next 3 lunar strikes are instacast and generate 40% additional astral power, and that's on a 45-second cooldown. And then Force of Nature, which is on a 1-minute cooldown, summons a stand of 3 tree ants for 10 seconds, which immediately taunt and attack enemies in the targeted area. And that has a 40-yard range, so pretty much anywhere in the arena where you want to. So here's a question. Of this first row, which ones are we picking and why?
I saw him really sad about the last talent, which is Force of Nature. Oh man, that talent actually used to be such a good talent back in MOP.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I remember it. But does anybody pick it still?
No,
Why?
not in PvP.
Why? Is it,
People, they don't really need NPCs like pets to attack stuff. These trends basically do no damage, and they have low HP bar.
okay.
Um, so basically, they just some people I've seen people try with Water with a Loon
Mm-hmm.
to do some more burst damage, but Lunar Strike just doesn't do enough damage to actually do the damage you're supposed to do. And meanwhile, when you click on the when you use the spell Water with a Loon, you might get a Lunar Strike proc.
Okay.
So there's kind of an overlapping there.
Oh
So
yeah.
until you use
Yeah.
until you use your 3 lunar strikes, you can get like 3 more out of there,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just lose them all. So that's like a loss of damage instead of
Yeah.
gaining something. I think they had a change about that. I just forgot about it because I don't play with that talent. I just go with Nature's Balance because it allows me to pop instant burst damage from the get go of the arena.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's something that everyone actually uses right now.
So you're saying something there, and I'm not sure if people realize, but you said that there's procs that you get that cause your lunar strikes to be instant, which then overlaps with the Warrior of Elune. How does that work?
It's called Oaken Frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take damage, you have certain percent chance. I think it was 5, or maybe 10. If I'm wrong, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I just don't have the talent or the spell in front of me
No worries.
to actually check it out. When you take damage, you have a chance. Like when you're in Boomkin form, basically, when you take damage, you have a chance to proc your next Lunar Strike to be instant.
Okay.
And that's really handy because when 2 melees are attacking you, and let's say it's a Demon Hunter in Unholy Decay, like the amount of procs that you will get, it's insane. Like that spell was my top damage for one arena. But I just sit in one place and I just spam Lunar Strike. I don't do anything else. I just refresh my dots and then spam Lunar Strike.
Yeah.
And you get so much Astro power from that as well.
Oh yeah. Oh no. But
Which you use with Star
it's
Soldiers.
one part I didn't mind about getting hit by Moli when I was playing my alt. It's like, oh, okay, you want to give me some free procs of instant damage? Okay. Bing, bing. But okay. But that makes sense though. I mean, if you're doing that, then obviously the Warrior of Elune becomes a DPS loss because you're losing all those extras.
I just want to add one trick here that I've discovered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how people know about that. So when a person is immune, like Divine Shield
Yep.
or Cyclone, and you're using like your Lunar Strike proc on him,
Mm-hmm.
the proc does not remove itself. It stays there. So you can just spam your Lunar Strikes into that immunity. You get the Astro Power, and you still keep the buff.
Nice.
So when that immunity ends, you can shoot Star Soldiers and then use your proc as well. So that's a little bit of shit. I don't know if it's bugged. Maybe it's bugged. I don't know, to be honest. But
Yeah.
when I clone someone, if I have the proc, I'm just gonna spam it till I get full Astro Power bar,
Why not?
and then just shoot Star Soldiers out after that.
I'm guessing it's probably just how it interacts. It probably removes itself based on hit. So on a successful strike. So obviously if you're hitting something that's immune, you're not getting successful strikes.
Yeah,
So,
it
but,
could be that. Yeah.
But on the same side, you're still casting it. So by that side of the mechanic or the mathematics, it's probably calculating that man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you can go into a mage that's ice blocked and max out your astral power, and then when he pops out, just pump. Ooh, I like it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice tip.
For example, when I play 3v3 and I do my burst window with 2 Star Surges, that if I hit a proc, I can clone someone.
Mm-hmm.
I can get my Astral Power back to 100 really fast. It's really fast.
So,
and I think it's a bug. Hopefully not. I hope Blizzard doesn't fix that.
well, Blizzard doesn't listen to us, so you're fine. It's
Good.
I have no idea. I have no idea who listens or who doesn't. But all right. Well, let's move into the next level of tree and talk about the level 30 stuff. So you have the Tiger Dash, where you activate cat form and increases your movement speed by 200%, reducing gradually over 5 seconds, which replaces Dash, and it's on a 45-second cooldown. Then you have Renewal, which is on a minute and a half cooldown, and you instantly heals yourself for 30% of your maximum health, usable in all shape forms. And then the Wild Charge talent, which is a 15-second cooldown, and it grants you movement ability based on your varies by shapeshift form. So if you're non-shapeshifted, you can fly to an ally's position. If you're in bear, you can charge to an enemy and immobilize them for 4 seconds. That's handy. If you're in cat, you leap behind an enemy and daze them for 3 seconds. Okay. If you're in travel form, you leap forward 20 yards. And if you're in aquatic form, your swim speed, increase your swim speed by an additional 150% for 50 seconds. That's pretty fun. Oh, and then in Boomkin form, you bound backwards. Okay. So it's like a disengage.
Yeah, counter disengage.
Okay, cool. So which one would you choose out of this one between Tiger Dash, Renewal, and Wild Charge?
Now, here, the Tiger Dash, I believe that talent would be chosen much more often if it didn't replace Dash, the
Mm-hmm.
actual Dash.
Yep.
I believe people would choose Tiger Dash a lot more often. Um, but at the same time, we have Renewal and Wild Charge. Now, I've seen most of the Rocket Boomkins right now playing with Wild Charge, and some of them playing with Renewal.
Okay.
Basically, it's most likely, I think it's depending on the comp they play against. But me personally, I just stick with the Renewal forever.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like I can save my healer mana by using Renewal. If I tank a big chaos bot, I can just type I'm fine
Mm-hmm.
and I can use it. There is a handy trick with Renewal which you can increase your healing from the Renewal if you use Battle Master, and if you use Battle Master before Renewal,
Yep.
since the Renewal heals a percentage of your HP, and if your HP is high, you get more heal. Um,
Yeah,
and
I've seen
also
that
if you have
before.
like yeah, if you have the PvP talent, which increases your healing taken, uh, I believe it was 20%, and
Mm-hmm.
increases the heal that you take by 20% when you're in bear form. So when you go in bear form,
Yep.
you Battle Master and you use Renewal. You get a lot of heal. I think it's around 40% of your HP instead of 30 after that
Wow.
because of the Battle Master increase. And if you use Frenzy Regen, that's a lot of healing as well. You can fully heal yourself, I think, with that combination. And if you have a Hellstone, well, that's a lot of healing.
That's that's 0 to full, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's just the default option on how you heal yourself to full HP.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have any self healing, which probably you don't, because if you cast regrowths, you either get interrupted, you get stunned,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get stunned, and you get bursted down out of bear form, you just basically die.
Of course.
Speaking in our perspective, in like high rated situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It makes
But
sense.
yeah,
I
just my
think,
opinion is on renewal.
yeah, I think I've seen, from what I've seen, usually because the only druids I usually see in PvP are the restos. I usually see them playing with wild charge because then they can do some funky, like, get the heck out of dodge and go all the way across, uh, go across the whole arena or whatever. But I can't say I've ever seen a boomkin do that. So
With wild charge.
yeah, yeah. I said I think
Um,
I personally haven't seen it, but then again, like, I haven't really run into a lot of boomkins either, so it's hard to say.
yeah, I was just watching just before our podcast. I was watching Z Pipe playing with Laser Chicken 3v3, and Laser Chicken was playing with wild charge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Now,
I thought,
some of the arenas he wasn't. Some of the
yeah,
arenas he was.
okay,
Um, I
interesting.
think it's personal preference, or if you feel like you're not gonna take too much damage, so you don't need the actual renewal. You
Mm-hmm.
prefer more mobility. I think you can just choose the wild charge.
Makes sense. I said
Yeah,
like you said though, it's your comfortability and how you personal feels.
I was
Uh,
never actually being able to work with wild charge that good. I miss Displacer Beast.
I hated Displacer Beast. Uh, do some,
Really?
yeah, I did some. I I'm not good with spatial sometimes, so I click it and I'd like completely go in the wrong direction. So anyway, all right. So into the next tree, we have this is one we were talking about earlier. There between the Feral Affinity, the Guardian Affinity, and the Restoration Affinity. So Feral, it gives you feline swiftness, so it increases your movement speed by 15%, and you also are able to cast Rake, Rip, Ferocious Bite, or Swipe, and your energy regeneration is increased by 45%. Guardian Affinity, so you gain Thick Hide, so when you're in Guardian, if you go bear form, you take 6% less damage. You can also Thrash, Iron Fur, and Frenzied Regen. And then the Resto Infinity, where you gain Ysara's Gift, which heals you for 3% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. If you're at full health, an injured party member or raid member will be healed instead. And you can also Rejuve, Swift Mend, and Wild Growth. Now, you're saying before, normally you would pick Restoration Affinity, but now you're picking another affinity?
Yeah. So when you play Boomkin,
Mm-hmm.
you just pretend that Pharaoh Vinti does not exist for you. Basically, you just never
Well,
pick
that's
that.
sad.
It's really sad. Definitely, it is sad. Pharaoh Vinti has some potential. It's just, I mean, all of these spells in these Pharaoh Garden Restoration Affinities, maybe not all of them, but almost all of them, they used to be baseline for our class.
Yeah. And they got pulled out, and then they put into I remember that. 'Cause that was the thing about
Yeah.
Druids is Druids could be anything. You could just change form, and suddenly you were a bear tank, and then you change form, and you're a melee cat.
Cat. Yeah.
So they took them all.
But,
Yeah. All right.
yeah, finish the sentence.
So out of those three, then do you just pick Guardian Affinity and forget about it?
Yeah, that's what happens. You can be a little bit, you can try to. I've seen Corki, which is another rank on Boomy, play 2v2 as Boomy Rogue, playing Restoration Affinity. It's just, they're just trying to heal and survive until they have cities again. It's rough to watch that, to be honest. It's really painful to watch that because they struggle a lot.
Yeah.
And since, that comp is no longer available in twos, it used to be really good and really skillful comp in twos back in the day. But not anymore. And so they just now go mostly with Garden Infinity, which you have, all these abilities like Trash, like Mango, Iron Fear, Frenzy Region, Thick High that increases your armor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just this with your damage, sorry.
Yeah.
It's set like 7%. You don't feel that 7% difference, to be honest. When you play 3v3, you just don't feel that actually exists. And
I can imagine. Like,
Trash is good.
Mhm.
If you play Gushing Wound, you can actually spread Gushing
yeah.
with Trash,
Yeah.
which is really good. Mango is good because you get Rage, so you can use Iron Fury or Frenzy Region ability that actually used like 10 Rage to be activated or something.
Oh, I forgot
And
that. Yeah.
Frenzy Region is very handy,
Mm-hmm.
like especially if you have the traits. If you have three traits of I think it's a Guardian trait. I forgot the name, I believe. So it increases the healing of Frenzy Region and an additional amount whenever you mango a target while you have Frenzy Region active. It also increases the duration by like 1 second. So
Oh.
it's really good defensive trait to have,
Yeah.
but they don't go for that anymore.
Okay.
Like I think it's in the first or second season they actually went for that, but now they don't do that, and it's pretty much understandable since now you either kill someone fast or you die.
Mm-hmm.
So they just stick with the Guardian Affinity. And the good part about the Iron Fear is that when you're getting trained by a rogue, it's actually really good to have your Iron Fear active when you're in bear form. Because, or just basically any melee that does physical damage.
Okay.
Iron Fury is really helpful since it increases your armor, so the melee is going to do less damage to you. So it's really good to maintain that as much as you can.
That makes
And I
sense.
think that's about it basically. It's really sad that you don't really get to use the rest of the two affinities.
No, it wouldn't be the first class that clicks one and just forgets about it. Something I forgot.
Yeah.
The Iron Fur. So you have to be in bear form to pop Iron Fur, right? But
Yeah.
once you change form, does it stick with you or does it remove? I never
It
paid
removes.
It removes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is sad. But
Yeah.
I mean it stays only for like 5 or 4 seconds, which is really small window, and it costs a lot of rage to actually activate that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's worth it as well.
Of course.
It saved my life a few times.
I may have died because I forgot to put it on my hotbar. But anyway,
Um,
that was me.
it's not something that it's not something that will protect you from from a very big damage. You still take the damage. You just take a little bit less from that damage.
Mm-hmm.
It just adds up in the long run.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's get into the next tier and we'll roll through the rest of these. So you got the level 60. We got Mighty Bash. So that replaces Nature's Control and invokes the Spirit of Ursoc to stun the target for 5 seconds, usable in all shape-shift forms. Mass Entanglement, which again replaces Nature's Control, and roots the target and all enemies within 15 yards in place for 30 seconds. Damage may interrupt the effect and usable in all shape forms. And then Typhoon, the one we were talking about earlier, where it's on a 30-second cooldown. And actually, sorry, I messed that. Mighty Bash is on a 50-second cooldown. Mass Entanglement's on a 30-second. Typhoon is also on a 30-second cooldown. And that blasts all targets within 15 yards in front of you with a Violent Typhoon, knocking them back and dazing them for 6 seconds. Again, usable in all shape forms. So you're saying usually you pick which one do you normally pick out of this?
You kind of want to swap between Bash and Mass Entanglement.
Okay.
Typhoon is just not an option unless you're just like trolling in arenas or something like that. When you play against Resto Druid, you always pick Bash.
Okay.
You just really need to pick the Bash. And you can also pick Bash in a few other situations, but these are, like higher ranked arenas situations. For example, if you play against a Red Paladin, a priest, and let's say a survival hunter, like the survival hunter and Red Paladin, they both have a freedom that they can use on party members.
Yep.
So if you root beam someone, and they'll just get instantly freedom. So basically, your master element is useless. This is where you need to change to Bash, for example.
Yep.
Now, in lower ratings, they don't do that. So you're okay with going master element. But as soon as you notice that teams are actually getting freedom on your root beams, you can definitely switch to Bash. What I do here to counter these freedoms is as soon as they root beam the healer, I start casting Cyclone on them. So when they get freedom, I just replace that with clone.
Okay.
So they get clone on their freedom.
Yep.
So they're still in the CC. I just counter their counter of my CC, if that makes sense.
Yep. You counter the counter.
Yeah.
That's actually really smart. So, I think Mass Entanglement is also really handy in some of the rated battlegrounds as well. I remember seeing that one picked quite often. And same with Typhoon. I've seen that definitely on things like Eye of the Storm, just blowing people off the mid bridge, etc. But I know we're not talking about RPGs right now. We're talking arena. So, all right.
Master Entanglement can actually be a really cheeky talent if you play with the PP talent, which I actually forgot the name. Let me just try to see it. The name was Deep Roots.
Deep Roots, yeah.
So now this affects Master Entanglement as well. So back in the Legion, that was not the case.
Okay.
It affected only Entanglement Root, and now it affects Master Entanglement. So what you can do is you can use your root beam as a stun on the kill target as well. So they will be silenced and they can't move because you have rooted them. And you can even spam the roots on top of him, so it will look like a stun, definitely.
Okay.
Now that's very situational, and that's only if you know that you're gonna kill the target in that time frame. But still, I don't think anyone does that. It's really hard to set it up. It's really hard to set it up, especially if you want to cast it. Since everyone goes on you and you get interrupted and CCs whenever you try to do stuff, it's not really ideal. So that's why they just go for the easier way.
Of course. Whoa, pardon me. Probably need some air. Yeah, that makes sense. It's there's definitely I like how Blizzard does that with the risk and the reward stuff that they throw in sometimes, but sometimes like
Yeah.
obviously the risk if it's too high, then why win 1 out of 10 times when you can just go the other side and win 50% of the time? So okay. Next tier we got Soul of the Forest, which increases the damage bonus of lunar and solar empowerment by 30%. It also reduces the astral power cost of Starfall by 10. Handy. Star Lord. Sorry. Thinking Guardians of the Galaxy all of a sudden every time I see that. Anyway, Star Lord, Star Surge, and Starfall grant you 3% haste for 20 seconds. It stacks up to 3 times. Gaining a stack does not refresh the duration. And then Incarn, where it's on a 3-minute cooldown, and that turns you into an improved Moonkin that increases all the damage that you of your spells by 25%, gives you 15% haste. It lasts for 30 seconds, and you may shapeshift in and out of this improved Moonkin form for its duration. Oh no! We just lost oh no! 1 second, please. Alrighty. Is he coming back?
Hello?
Hey, there you are. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to my Discord. I was just completely randomly crashed.
It happens. It happens to the best computers. There are you. You're back. All right. So that was.
Yeah. Hopefully everything's fine now.
Yeah. No, you pop right back in where you belong. The system.
Okay. So
The OBS works still, so it's okay. All right. So I guess so between these three, Soul of the Forest, Star Lord, and Incarn, personally, I've only ever seen Incarn being picked. Is that the case, or is there a reason to pick Star Lord or Soul of the Forest, or am I just wrong?
Soul of the Forest, that used to be picked earlier, I believe, in this expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was Starfall traits that were kind of useful, so we just spam Starfall for AoE in PvE. That was good. Star Lord is not really an ideal option, since when you cast 3-star surges, and when you cast another one, it doesn't reset, the buff that you get with the haste.
Oh.
So it's if you don't have like uptime on your star surges, you kind of miss the buff a little bit. Again, this talent is really good in PvE. I pick this talent in PvE a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and with the other haste that they have, and the trinket procs and other haste and like bloodlust, like the cast times are really fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable. I wish that was the case in PvP as well, but yeah, you can't get that. Star Lord is used only in PvE.
Okay.
Incarnation is just in PvP. Like 100% sure.
Really? Okay. I'm not surprised. Incarn is really powerful.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like it.
I like it a lot. Actually, here's one question though. Are you ever concerned about if you popping Incarn and then getting CC'd and just lose your whole cooldown?
Incarn is 30-second, like it's 30-second buff that you get.
Yeah.
That increases your haste by 50% and your damage as well.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any team that can CC you for 30 seconds. But the worst part is that even if you don't get CC'd, they just hide behind pillar and you can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So it's really frustrating. Like in Legion, for example, when you pop Incarn, everyone goes behind pillar and you can't follow them because you don't have mobility.
Yeah.
You don't have the wild shrooms that you put on the ground to slow them so you can catch them up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have displacer beast.
Yeah.
Wild Shard is kind of clunky, and
Yeah.
it it's really not pleasant to be honest. But right now, it feels good. It feels really good. There's
Okay.
still scares from incarnation, but right now the interaction is that you get 40 astral power when you pop it.
Oh,
So you
nice.
can pop it and
Mm-hmm.
quickly shoot two star soldiers before they hide, which is
Yep.
what usually happens.
Yep.
And if they're not hiding, you can start like casting Rat Lunar Strike. It's really important that you don't spam the same spell over and over again. You need to make sure that you use all of your eclipses. And for example, if you cast Lunar Strike, you might get a solar eclipse. So you need to use both of these spells, like lunar, solar,
Okay.
until they're wasted, or until you reach 100%. 100 basically astral power, and then shoot two star soldiers
Okay.
to refresh the procs, and then you just keep repeating that, and you keep your dots active.
That makes sense. That's actually a pretty easy rotation.
Yeah,
Actually.
that's the whole rotation in PvP.
Okay. I've been pushing too many buttons then. Uh, all right. Well, let's look at the last. We're almost done here. So we got Stellar Drift, where you increase the Starfall's radius by 20%, damage by 25%, and it allows you to cast while moving within the Starfall's area. That's handy. Twin Moons. So Moonfire deals 10% increased damage and also hits another nearby enemy within 15 yards. And Stellar Flare. Burns a target for a percentage of your spell power as astral damage, and then an additional amount of damage over 24 seconds. So it has an upfront hit and then a dot, and it also
Yeah,
generates eight astral power, which is handy. Uh, so with this one, I've never taken Stellar Flare because I never found that I needed extra astral power on my when I was playing my alt. Have you ever taken Stellar Flare?
I have tried it, and it's awkward. It's very awkward. You need to maintain three dots,
Mm-hmm.
which one of them is a castable dot. So if you need to
Oh yeah,
cast a
it's not like
dot on
cast time.
multiple
Yeah.
targets, you don't really have time to actually cast your other spells if you cast a dot. Now, in High Mythic Plus, I believe I've seen that they choose this talent over the rest.
Okay.
Still, the drift is again not an option since you don't play Soul of the Forest, you don't play Starfall rotation. Traits,
Yep.
so you don't pick Soul of the Forest and you don't pick Stellar Drift for anything, not even for PV anymore. And some people go with Stellar Flare, some people go with Twin Moons,
Mm-hmm.
but in PvP, it's only Twin Moons, nothing else.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because then you're just
It's
spreading your
really,
dots.
yeah, you spread easily on your dots.
Yeah. Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Uh, I was thinking maybe Stellar Flare would be handy for just another dot for against a rogue team, but then like you said, I completely missed the fact that I had a 1.5 second cast time. So
That's a big
that's
cast, to be
yeah,
honest, as well.
that's huge.
And by the way, if you get locked on Stellar Flare, since it's Astro, spell lock, it will lock you on everything. I've tried it in
Yeah.
the arena actually,
Yeah, I
once,
believe you.
and I got. I think it's the same thing with New Moon,
Oh yeah.
because back in Legion, when you get locked on full moon, you get locked on everything
Yep. Wow.
because these are Astro things.
Mm-hmm. So
Actually, no, never mind. On Legion, you had three schools: Astro, Nature, and Arcane.
okay.
But
Oh yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah. But now everything's astral
n-
power or astral.
now is now is only Arcane and Nature, and if you get
Okay.
locked on Astro, you're locked on everything.
Yikes. Yeah, I can relate to
Yeah,
that as a okay. So I guess so as you're saying, definitely on that tree, it's only twin moons. Don't worry about anything else because
yeah,
reasons. Okay.
definitely.
Last tier, shooting stars, where moonfires and sunfire damage over time has a chance to call down a falling star, dealing 36% of your spell power as astral damage and generating you some astral power. The Fury of Elune, uh, which is on a 1 minute cooldown. and calls down a beam of pure celestial energy that follows the enemy, dealing some mathematical formula of spell power as astral damage over 8 seconds to all nearby targets. Now that also generates you 40 astral power during its duration. That sounds pretty sweet. And then New Moon, which is a 1 second cast, 3 charges, 25-second recharge time, and that deals 75% of your spell power as arcane damage to the target and empowers New Moon to become a half moon, and also generates 10 astral power. And that's the one where you cast New Moon, it becomes half moon, you cast half moon, it becomes full moon, and then you cast full moon, and that actually, like, a big ball of, oh my gosh, hits the person.
It's like a full moon, and the effect is really cool
Yeah.
when it lands.
I love doing it. I love doing it. I never get a chance to cast it anymore.
And yeah, that's true. It's really sad. In Legion, it was really good.
Yeah,
when you cast it, like it just drops on someone and their HP is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I remember
a literal star or a moon.
Moon. It was awesome. If you got that cast off, it felt so sweet.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about. Unfortunately, we're not talking about Legion. We're talking about BFA. So which one are we picking now? Then are we picking Shooting Stars? Sounds pretty handy. Are we going Shooting Stars? Or are we doing Fury of Elune and having a beam of light chase people?
We're doing. I think both. We just completely ignore the fact that if you get locked on New Moon, you get locked on everything. So that's not an option even.
Yep.
Fury of Elune is a good one for a big burst.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if it doesn't hit people, you still get the astral effect, the astral power that it gives you. But again, it can break CC if you play, like, for example, Hunter Boomkin. If someone is trapped, and like if they're sitting next to the person that is trapped, and if you use that, it will break the CC.
Yep.
And then you just can't use your spell, so you can't get the advantage of that spell when you actually want to get it. So not many people are playing that Fury of Elune talent, especially in high-rated arenas. Everyone is playing with Shooting Stars, since you spread dots and you automatically generate astral power from them as well.
Yeah.
That's the goal for in PvE and PvP.
Yeah. Just make a bunch of generators to then be able to do your big shots. So
yeah. Now Shooting Stars doesn't do a lot of damage. But
no, it's only 30%. I was really surprised when I saw that 36% of your spell power as astral. Like that's. But I mean, I guess again, the whole spec is about, it's kind of rot damage, right? It's all about damage over time. So that kind of feeds into that whole idea of it's death by a bunch of mosquitoes, right? So
that's true. There's definitely something like that.
Okay, well that's that for the talents. Into PvP talents. So obviously we can only pick 3, but there's a fairly large list. When I was researching to figure out what I was going to do on my Boomkin, I was actually there's some on the list that look really, really handy. But then when I was doing some research, some of the guides in that they're only picking like 2, maybe 3. And that was it. Like there was like barely any other options, it seemed like. So I'm wondering what are your takes on these? So we have, I'm just gonna run them through. I'm not gonna read them all, but so we have Cyclone, Thorns, Iron Feather Armor, Celestial Guardian, Moonkin Aura, Crescent Burn, Twin Moons, Fairy Swarm, Protector of the Grove, Deep Roots, Dying Stars, Fairy Swarm, Moon and Stars, and Prickling Thorns. And of that, I think so. You only pick 3. Cyclone seems to be like de facto number 1. Nobody ever doesn't do Cyclone. Is that right?
Yes, but there's only one situation where you don't want to pick Cyclone, and that is when you play with the Destro Warlock, since Fear and Clone share the rotation.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to share DRs.
Yeah, and that's the only situation that you don't want to pick Cyclone. Now you can still pick it up, but just like don't really use it. since I believe Warlock needs to get he needs to get all the kicks on the fear on his fear cast, so he can cast chaos bolts.
Yep.
And of course, enemy people are not going to kick the fear if they're already DR'd on Cyclone, because the fear will be immune.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played with this Warlock, and he was mad at me because I was spam cloning people. He was like, "Bro, I need to cast fear, man. Stop cloning people. I can't. I need to get the kicks out on the fear to cast chaos bolt," and he just wasn't able to do that, and we lost.
Uh, well, that's a
But
that's a good lesson to learn. So thank you for sharing that.
yeah, yeah. Now we do pick Cyclone always, yes.
Okay.
We don't really play with Destro, but even if you do, you still kind of like pick Cyclone.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's something like it's team based. If your team says don't pick Cyclone, then you're fine.
Yeah.
You cannot pick it. You pick Thorns only against double melee classes, like the Warrior Demon Hunter or Warrior Red Pally or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Iron Feather Armor, you don't pick that.
No.
It's a very cool talent, and
Yeah.
it's really sad that you don't get to pick that talent.
Why don't you pick it?
There are more talents that are better actually in this tree, and one of them is Thorns and Cyclone. If you play against double melee, you usually you think about taking physical damage and reducing that. So you kind of want to pick Iron Fed armor, but just Thorns is much better. Cyclone, and you have one more slot, which is the Celestial Guardian, which is the next one, and that's the one where you take 10% less spell or magical damage taken when you're in better form.
Yep.
And you like the healing received is increased by 20% when you're in better form.
Yeah.
As I mentioned.
And that's the one you were talking about, where you do that, and then you add in your frenzied, and you add in a cookie, and you add in your trinket, and your yeah. Okay.
That's you just basically pick only that against everything, even if it's a double melee that does physical damage. Because in better form, you have more armor than the Iron Feather can provide you with.
Okay.
You're more tanky in better form. We have frenzied region in better form. Iron Feather armor as well. So that Celestian is not the Celestial Guardian does not only help you to heal yourself more with renewal, but also a healer to heal you more for 20%.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
it's really good.
It's just an overall really good. Okay. Like, yeah, I can see what you're saying though. Like especially if being in bear form exceeds the amount of armor you're going to get from Iron Feather, then and you're going to go in better form anyways because you have Guardian Infinity. Why not?
Yeah, if you think that you survive with Iron Feather armor against 2 melees, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint that.
Well, you gotta crush my dreams, man. No. All right. So of all the other ones that we talked about, that I just mentioned off there, so the Moonkin Aura, Crescent Burn, Twin Moons, Fairy Swarm, yada yada. Is there any that are like, okay, this one niche? If you're up against this one comp, is there any of that, or is it like just always, again, Cyclone, Thorns, and Celestial Guardian, and just be done with it?
Now it's a little bit tricky here, since you need to do Cyclone. Like that's like the first slot is always taken with Cyclone. The second one is Celestial Guardian, that's always been picked. So you have one slot that you need to go around with. So if you play Conflict in Major, you get Thorns by default. So you can pick Moonkin Aura, which increases your critical chance not only by you but your friendly targets as well by 12%. And that has a very high uptime in Arena because you're just shooting stars or just constantly to refresh the buff.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. For a Holy Paladin, that is a lot. Since they rely on criticals, to actually get procs and heal you a lot. It's really good when you play with casters, and also against casters.
Yep.
And basically everything else in that tree is not being used in Arena. You can probably play around Fairy Swarm and Deep Roots, and that's about it.
Huh. Okay. It's a little
I used to
disappointing,
play.
but
It is,
yeah,
yeah. I
it is
used to
what it
play
is.
Fairy Storm against RMP to disarm the rogue,
Yep.
and they just get dispelled, and that's it.
Oh, it's dispellable? Oh, that
Yeah,
sucks.
it
Oh,
disarms, it slows, but
yeah.
if you dispel it, it's over, and it has like a 50-second cooldown. 50-second cooldown
Oh, no, it
for
says,
a 30% slow.
yeah, it says 30 here on the tooltip through Wowhead. So I wonder if that's different in PvP. But yeah,
Maybe they changed it.
maybe. But still, yeah, 30-second cooldown. Like, you can't, yeah. All right. And then you're saying, what was the other one?
Deep
Deep
roots.
roots? Oh, that's yeah, so the damage required to cancel the entangler roots. Okay. That makes sense, yeah. So then your roots aren't dying um to
Yeah,
AoE.
your root becomes a stun,
Yeah.
something like a stun. It just roots directly. You can damage him in the root. The root won't break that fast.
Mm-hmm.
You can even reroute him in the root, so it's refreshed, and it's really handy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to do that, and no one goes for that as well.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, I like it. Uh let's where are we at here? Sorry, just checking time. Okay. Azurite traits. So I didn't really see it like Arcanic Pulsar and Battlefield Precision. That's it? Or is that my data wrong? Again, like I said, I've just following a log. Is there what do you look for your Azurite traits?
For Azure traits.
Yeah.
Now
So
let me just take a look at my Wubke here.
okay.
Yeah, inspect them here
We're doing this
in
live.
the
Love it. I
World of,
love it.
World of Warcraft website.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want to have is at least one Arcanic booster.
Yeah.
Having three is great as well.
Okay.
Um, but at the same time, you need something else. You don't really need streaking stars. That does not damage in PvP.
Okay.
Um, you need. There was a power of the moon one. Of course, if you can get Battlefield Precision, that's good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone goes with that trait anymore. That used to be really good in season 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah.
But now I haven't seen anyone actually playing with that Battlefield Precision.
Okay.
Because of the traits that we have right now from the new rate is like are more strong.
Yep.
So I have Arcanic Poster at least one, just so I can get the Celestial Enlightenment or the Incarnation proc every 8-star soldiers or 9-star soldiers. And I have High Noon, which is Sunfire radius is increased by 11 yards. I mean, it's increased to 11 yards from 8, I believe, or 9.
Okay.
And does
Yeah.
additional periodic damage. It's not something too much. I've seen everyone actually, even in tournaments. Whenever I see Booker in tournament, I go as fast as I can to inspect what is he playing,
Yep.
with like considering gear and stats and stuff like that. So they play with Power of the Moon trait, which is Moonfire does additional periodic damage and has a chance to grant you lunar empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to apply your dots or refresh them, you have a chance to get a lunar empowerment, which is really good.
Yep.
And High Noon is just a bigger range for your Sunfire to spread, which is also good.
Yep.
Um, at least one streaking stars. It's not that bad since it does some damage, but it's very like it's close to nothing, obviously, to be honest. Um, if you can go with double Arcanic Booster, one Power of the Moon,
Yep.
or High Noon for major like traits, that would be good.
Okay.
Um, we can go with like there are traits with haste and haste with versatility. I mean traits with versatility and traits with haste.
Mm-hmm.
You pick them as well. Mostly trying to pick the versatility ones since you need to be tanky
Okay.
in arena.
Oh, okay. Is there a certain breakpoint?
Now,
Is there breakpoints you're looking for, or is it just max out as much?
um,
Did I
it's
not
better
understand
for you
that
not to
correctly?
have less than 20%. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just not okay if you have less than 20% haste or at least less than 18.
Mm-hmm.
The current the haste that I have is 18,
Okay.
and you need a lot of mastery as well. But like on the traits, you kind of focus on the haste traits and versatility traits that they give you. Also, a huge buff for your stats is the from the new raid Nilota,
Mm-hmm.
the Heart of Darkness,
Yeah.
which is if you have like above 25 corruption, your stats are increased by a certain amount.
Yeah.
I If you have like three of these pieces, it's definitely okay to drop other traits for sure, like Power of the Moon or High Noon. Um,
Okay.
I have two of these pieces currently, and it just increases your stats by a lot. It's a little bit nerfed in arena,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a must-have trait to go for.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Uh.
Yeah. And for just for the minor traits,
Mm-hmm.
the Ursuk Endurance is just the
Yeah.
best by far.
What is that? I saw that one before. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the one. You get a little bubble around you whenever you bark skin or survival
Yeah,
instinct. Okay.
yeah. If you're feral,
Yeah.
it's
Well, a
it's
little
really
bubble.
good.
It's 32% or 32k bubble. It's wow. And it stacks.
And
So if you have multiple
yeah,
of
it
that, it
stacks.
stacks. Oh,
If you get three of them, it gets a decent absorb shield actually in the
yeah.
arena, and the rest of them, which is Resounding Protection and Gem Hide, these are good too. But the Resounding Protection is a very weak talent. I mean
Mm-hmm.
trait. Um, just the best one that you want is the Ursuk Endurance. You might not get three of them with the perfect traits that you want as well with Heart of Darkness, which is totally normal.
Yep.
But like at least one should help you a little bit. Um,
Okay.
just the main reason why you want these Heart of Darkness traits and a Cunning Pulsar, basically the minor stats are just the minor traits are just not something that you kind of want to gun for. You kind of
Yeah.
want the main,
Yeah. That's very typical.
the Heart of Darkness
Yeah.
and the Cunning Pulsar.
Okay.
I think everything else is not that much relevant.
I understand. All right. I'm gonna change this up. What about corruption then?
Corruption. I think now I have experimented with Surging Vitality
Okay.
on my Horde Boomkin. So I have like one Surging Vitality since it has like around 70 to 80% uptime in arena, which is like close to the Moonkin form that you
Wow.
have,
Yeah.
and that increases your versatility a lot
Mm-hmm.
for some period of time. And I think it was um, for 20 seconds.
Okay.
And that has a very big uptime. So it procs really often. And when it procs, your versatility is increased by a lot. So you
Mm-hmm.
get more tankier. But that's like only when you take damage, which is okay. Because usually you take damage.
Usually, yeah. I mean,
Usually close to
why,
every arena.
yeah. Why ignore the fact that people are trying to kill you? It's
Yeah, definitely.
okay.
And that's a really good corruption. At least one of that.
Yeah.
The one that gives 35 corruption. It gives you 100, like 801 versatility for 20 seconds when you take damage.
Okay. Wow.
Um, one of that, and the rest you can go with full gushing on every item.
Really?
Just make sure that when you apply gushing, your item is 470 or 475. Otherwise, your gushing won't be doing as much as damage because it scales with item level. The
Oh,
damage of the
really?
gushing scales with item level.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So if you
Wow.
apply gushing to a 460 item, and then you apply gushing to 475 item,
Yeah.
you'll see that there's like almost 3k damage difference in that, which is a lot in PvP.
Yeah. Wow. Okay,
Wise was talking actually about that. I think
interesting.
I saw that on the stream. Wise was talking about the difference between that.
It's it makes sense. I'm really surprised because just it seems like the band camp has always been behind the versatile, which is just the flat increase of what's it the increase percent amount of your versatility more is more of a flat thing instead of the burst. But I like your thinking that I mean if the procs per minute are that valid to go with the bursting one when you take damage because you're taking damage all the time. That just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And the reason how I found that is because of the Draenor. I know Draenor X stream. I'm not sure if you know that he's like one of the best healers in Europe,
Yeah, I know Drainer.
and
Yeah.
and I saw him playing that corruption on his Holy Paladin, and
Yeah.
when he checked the stats, I was shocked that actually this guy has so much uptime, and
Is that much? Wow.
yeah, it's a lot. It was 78% of the arena, and the arena was like I think the arena was somewhere between 4 or 5 minutes.
Wow.
So for that period of time, that's a lot
That's
of
that's
time.
a huge amount. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm sold. I like it. Uh okay, last question for gear. For the heart, what essences are we putting in that thing?
You can, for essences, you can experiment a little bit.
Okay.
If you play with Pumpkin Elemento, most of the times I think it's good if you go Vision of Perfection as major or Breath of the Dying.
Okay.
I just prefer Breath of the Dying because I have a huge burst window. I um I actually did that yesterday. I just quit skirmish because I did have anything else to do.
Okay.
So I decided to let's go skirmish. I want to play some 2v2 depot DPS, and I felt like I need to one shot somebody. So I went in the arena
Yeah.
and I insta popped my inclination and my damage. I spread the dots immediately.
Yep.
I shot 2 star surges
Yep.
combined with um, Breath of the Dying, and that guy died. I mean, it wasn't a completely one shot.
Nope.
I hit him really hard, so he dropped to very low HP,
Yep.
and I just finished him with few casts of my like Rat and Lunar Strike. It just happened that he ignored me, so he lost.
Wow. That's ouch. Okay.
Yeah, and if you get a kill with Breath of the Dying, you get like 100% buff. So
Yeah.
after 5 seconds, um, you'll still have your incarnation in your procs and your buffs.
Mhm.
So if you get enough astral power to shoot 2 more star surges and combine that one, the other person, if he's full HP, he'll die immediately.
I'm just
So
imagining this. Just whoever you end up against in skirms must have just been mad.
I actually played with him the next skirmish,
Oh
and
yeah.
he told me that I hit him really hard.
Yeah.
He
That's
he didn't
funny.
expect that.
Oh, I can imagine. I wouldn't expect it. Huh. Okay. So if you're with an Ellie, then play Breath of the Dying. Okay. What
Breath of
about
the Dying or Vision.
yeah?
You can play Conflict if you play against RMP,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still not sure which target is best for them to go onto. They like every time they go my alley,
Yep.
um, we lose in like 2 3 goes,
Okay.
and sometimes when they go me, I almost die in opener because I'm Boomkin and I can't do anything about it.
Yep.
And this is really sad, but yeah, I think most of the times you just go Breath or Vision.
Mm-hmm.
You can go Conflict Major against double melee, so you can get the 3 turns instead of changing Boomkin Aura,
Yep.
which is really good for your ally and your healer. So instead of just changing, your PvP talent for turns, you just trade your burst damage,
Mm-hmm.
a portion of your burst damage for support,
Yeah.
and that pays off a lot
I can
because
imagine.
when I played against DH and DK, they decided to trade me all the game. and they were hitting in turns the whole game. So when the arena ended, my turns did so much damage. I think it was 30 or 40% of my damage overall, and I was sitting in bear form.
They're literally killing themselves on you.
Yeah, I mean, I had gushing as
Yeah,
well. I
yeah.
have 5 pieces of gushing, and
Okay.
I was actively refreshing my dots and shooting star surges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my gushing was like 14 to 13% of my damage.
Wow. Oh man,
I'm
that was
surprised that turn
yeah,
surpassed.
yeah. Uh Now with that as well though, the conflict and strife that has the minor side, which is your versatility is well, now it's 50%. It was doubled, but now it's 50% when you're stunned.
Yeah,
Uh so if you don't have it as a major, do you always make sure you have it as a minor, or is that because I mean the way we're talking, you're saying that you're always very concerned about getting squished. So I'm assuming that
yeah,
you'd want that
you,
always.
yeah, that's correct. You always have that as a minor.
Okay.
Um, if you play with Breath Major,
Mm-hmm.
your minors should be Vision of Perfection, Breath of the Dying, and Memory of Lucid Dream, because
Okay.
rank 3 gives you a versatile proc
Okay.
for a few seconds. I used to reverse it, I think it was by 700 and something. Not quite sure how much that actually is. I don't have rank 3, Memory of Lucid Dream. I'm working on it. And I just, instead of Memory of Lucid Dream, I just use the Crucible Flame. Because Crucible Flame can proc gushing as well from that damage over time effect.
Oh.
So that's like everything that does damage,
Yeah.
proc or dots on the target can proc your gushing.
Okay. I mean, it makes
So
sense. Like that's the whole idea behind it. It
yeah,
piggybacks any damage. So okay. I never thought about that.
and
Okay. Cool. Cool.
yeah, you just switch, your Breath of Tank with Conflict
Mm-hmm.
as majors against RMP for some of the time, or double melees, and that's it. For essences, at least on my side, that's what I do.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. Uh, Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. All right. So you said in twos you're usually playing with an Ellie. Is that standard, or what are the other comps you'd be playing with?
Um, right now, you only want to play with Elemental Shaman, nothing else, basically.
Really?
And in
Okay.
trees, yes, in trees. In twos, you can play with the Holy Paladin that is really heavily geared.
Okay.
Otherwise, you won't be able to kill them alone.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't have enough damage to do that. They will kill you in dampening. Um, but when your Holy Paladin has like the ineffable Truth Corruption,
Yeah.
it has a full gear, it has Claw and other stuff PV. He will just he'll be like Red Paladin. He'll just go and hit people.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a discipline priest, He does damage to heal you,
Yeah.
but Paladin will hit you harder for that.
Because they have the judgments, they have the holy shocks that they can use
Yeah.
as damage. So okay, makes a lot of sense. uh, all right. What about no? So again, I was doing some research. I saw an idea. I'm not sure how this works. So a Mistweaver monk, a Windwalker monk, and a Boomkin.
It
that
works.
it works?
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Booming Windwalker works in trees. I've played that in season 2 in BFA as well.
Okay.
Like the second day after the season came out, I played that comp with a friend when they introduced Maledicts and no one knew that actually that's dispellable. It was a lot of fun beating people when they
Yeah.
don't know how to dispel Maledict. And we played with the Holy Paladin at that time.
Okay.
It was really good.
Yeah.
But the comp right now, it works. I've seen people in NA, ladder, and streams that play that comp.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Personally, I haven't tested it or tried that comp. I know it's a really good one. So you know, when you play Boomy Windwalker, what you want to do is you root beam the enemy healer. Hopefully, it's not the rest of the druid.
Yep.
You root beam him. You touch with that the other guy, and you spam your like all of your damage. You just throw out all of your damage that you have. Your monk with the touch of that and the clones and fist of fury.
Mhm.
Um, wait, was that the correct spell, fist of fury? Or I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's Fist of Fury. That's the Windwalker one.
Yeah, because I'm,
That's
I,
where they
I
do
don't know, I'm just losing.
the pumpy pump. Yeah,
Yeah, it just came out of my mind. So
very good.
you do that. I think you can't. I mean, you don't really have to use incarnation in that comp. I mean, just use it on that particular time window
Mm-hmm.
when your enemy healer is crowd controlled with root beam. He can just use his touch of death about it
Yeah.
and his clones. That would be enough damage for the person to die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if the healer trinkets, you can incap the healer. You can probably follow um, with a cyclone or a healer if it's holy body. You can follow with the hodge,
Yep.
and then you can pop your incarnate and finish the target if he's not dead. So it has a really good
Oh, neat.
potential on how to kill.
Yeah.
It definitely. That's how I played this
That
season
sounds
2
really
as well.
smooth. That sounds really smooth.
Yeah, especially with Maledict. I remember when my friend and my Holy Paladin got Maledict,
Yep.
like so early in that patch, like that same date. And what we did was we Maledict a Rest Shaman,
Mm-hmm.
and he used a Spirit Link and didn't heal for anything. He just died through that. It's like he never used that spell because he had so much stacks of Maledict that it like absorbed the Spirit Link totem. That was like wow.
That's crazy. I never. Oh wow. Because Spirit Link just shares a health pool. So I guess.
Yeah, and they were stacked. He
Yeah.
used Spirit Link and
Yeah.
he just died.
That's hilarious.
I mean, sure, if he stayed for a longer period of that time, he probably would have lived, but
Mm-hmm.
he had too much like absorption from that.
Wow, that's funny. Ah, poor Resto Shaman. I kind of feel bad for him. Kind of. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so that's how you win, right? Going through all that stuff. How do you die? How would I, if I'm facing up against a Boomkin, how do I kill you? What am I looking to do?
Basically, how to kill Boomkin.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. It's not that hard actually.
No.
You just right now at least when I played my warrior demon hunter in 3v3 when I made the Boomkin I always win them.
Okay.
And then I cry about my class, but yeah. Um, you just need to have that dress that got trinket. It's really powerful.
Yep.
You just train the Boomkin, and if he goes outside of bear form, you can pop damage
Mm-hmm.
and double dress him when there's no one around him. He just died right there.
Okay.
It's really easy for the Boomy to die out of bear form when he's playing against double melees. But usually what happens is you just train the Boomy and the healer just ooms by having to heal a lot
Yeah.
to keep them alive.
Okay.
That's what usually happens, especially if it's a Resto Shaman. He needs to spam cast to heal the Boomy
Yeah.
because there's nothing else he can do.
Okay.
And if the Demon Hunter stuns and burns the mana of the healer, that will be even faster.
Of course.
But again, it depends what comp the other Boomy is playing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's playing like Boomy Elemental, then it's not a good idea to play Mana Burn into that. So they just train the Boomy. They can swap to the Elemental. If it's close, they can cleave it or something like that. And I've played actually Warrior, Demon Hunter, Mistweaver against Wildcard Gaming,
Yeah.
Boomkin, Elemental, Holy Paladin.
Yeah.
Every time someone drops low HP from my team,
Mm-hmm.
I get full clone from the Boomy. And then they try to get a crowd control on the healer. So when the clone ends, I just before it ends, the Boomy replies clone maybe to the Demon Hunter or to the healer. And I can die pretty fast about that.
Okay.
To be honest, if you play with Boom Elemental, you should not be afraid of double melees. They just die.
Okay.
They're so scared they will just sit behind pillar and wait for you for nothing. They just wait for their time to come down.
Okay.
But if you play against casters, you don't want to sit in the middle of the map for sure. You need to
Of
be
course.
close to the pillar,
Yep.
especially if you play against Desto Warlocks. But as Boomy,
Sorry.
yeah,
I think it goes back to the first we were talking.
yeah, like Desto Warlocks.
Yeah.
But Boomy is more safe, against Desto Warlocks because you have so much stuff that you can tank cast bolts and recover from them without your healer actually having to heal you.
Yeah.
Even if the Warlock is full bursting you. You have like Frenzy Region, you have Renewal that you can just use
Okay.
until you reach the safe spot behind the pillar because you'll be spam rooted in CC and Fear maybe.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
it's now it's really hard to kill for me, honestly.
Okay. So I guess you would say Boomkins are more set up for resisting a spell cleave than a melee cleave. The melee cleave seems to it's from what you've been saying. Melee cleave's definitely your weaker counter comp or the stronger counter comp, I guess, right?
When you play against melee comms, the only problem is that your healer is gonna run out of mana by healing you.
Yeah.
But eventually you should win if the game goes for a longer period of time. If you play like Boom Elemental,
Okay.
because they'll be hitting in turns, you'll be making goes, like with a root beam and lasso from the shaman and Sky Fury to boost damage. You just pop two Side Soldiers and someone flips down and dies.
Okay.
It's really fun. I had a shaman that was hitting for 200k Earth Shocks in arena. I just did nothing and he just killed them there. And it wasn't something that is a special build or talent. It was just normal. We were like staying far away from them because their fire mage Desto Warlock. And Warlock just died.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? When I checked the detail meters, I was like 200k Earthshock? What? From where?
Wow. Huh. I like that.
It's-
I like that. So I guess in that case though, it was the fact that you were probably supporting using CCs and doing the clones and doing the stuff you need to do to make
Yeah.
sure that they can set that up. So
Yep, you try to fake the melees and try to get a clone and stuff like that.
okay.
If you don't get it, it's fine. Your shaman can free cast, your healer can free cast.
I got
Also, with if you're playing Boomy and Ellie,
Yeah.
it's really scary for the melee teams to actually hit only the Boomkin because Elemental can just free lasso them and free damage them all for free. He can just do basically whatever he wants, and if they go on the Elemental, you do whatever you want. It's like a double-edged sword,
I understand.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I've pulled pretty much all the information I can get out of your brain. I really appreciate this, Vezir. This is awesome. I have to do this. This is a thing we do for every podcast that we can. So imagine that you've been invited to Blizzard. You're talking to the game directors themselves, and they said, Vezir, you can change one thing about Boomkins. No questions. We'll do it. We love you. What's the one thing you would change about Boomkins?
One thing in like what perspective?
Anything you want. Anything. We'll make it happen. Whether it's realistic or not, who cares? We'll make it happen.
I
What's
know
the
the
one-
correct answer to this. I would just revert Boomkins back to Mists of Pandaria class design.
Okay.
I want everything to be the same as it was to Mists of Pandaria. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a lot of people happy about this.
It's not about making people happy. Trust me. All
I'm,
right.
I'm gonna be happy as well.
That's
So that's
that's the correct answer. All right. Okay.
yeah,
So just revert Boomkins back to Mr. Pandaria. Okay.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. So I was trying to think of this, but I was listening, trying to come up, and I had an idea, but it's not that great. Uh, I so as I said, I also have I have this alt. I love playing my alt Boomkin, just running around doing, especially in older content, because it's so fun. Like popping into cat form, and I can run through dungeons way faster and do transmog stuff and that. But
Yeah.
the one thing I've noticed is I am overly corrupted because I have one piece of corruption gear and I have like rank 1 cloak. And have you seen what an over corrupted Boomkin looks like? But it looks wicked because he has all that purple shimmer going through. I want that to stick around. I want that to be a like a color aspect that I can keep. So you have like the dark. So you're almost like a dark Boomkin, and I actually really enjoy it. The coloring of it
Nice.
is pretty cool. It's pretty slick. So that's what I would change. I would ask them to keep that as a color scheme. Where I don't know if it's go to the barber and get a dye job. I guess I don't know. But that's me.
I think that's a good one.
Well, sometimes it's all about the transmog. Because hey, if you
I,
look
I,
good,
I agree
play
with you.
good. It's
Yeah, that's definitely. That's why I was asking why is there no transmog in the tournament realm?
oh.
I want transmog. I don't want to look like a fucking. Sorry.
No.
Um,
it had to
I don't
happen.
want-
Damn it.
I just want to say that no, I don't want to look like a tentacle in the arena.
Oh yeah. A
I feel bad for that
tentacle.
now.
Tentacle. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll bleep it out later. All right. Well, hey, let's roll this out. Let's get into our next section, and we'll run through the PvP news because man, has there been a bunch of stuff happening this last couple weeks.
All right.
All right.
Who ordered up an extra large can of whoop ass?
All right. I've actually been kind of dreading this part. So, let's go. Let's do the soft stuff first. So we got the hot fixes that have been coming through. As always, there's hot fixes. Man, I was choked. I was so choked at Blizzard, because we finished our last podcast 2 weeks ago, and literally like 20 minutes after finishing it, the hot fixes came out, and they had done changes to warlocks, which were kind of significant. So warlock, I have to say this, I know it's like 2 weeks old, but the so for Destro and for Affliction, the Incinerate and Shadowbolt mana cost was reduced by 25% for those two respectively. And the reasoning for that was because of the amount of haste that warlocks are getting nowadays. They were running out of mana, so the dev team decided to decrease the cost of mana on these spells so that they can't run out of mana. I can't make this stuff up. I just can't. Okay, I as a warlock player, I don't mind. I really don't. But man, I don't know why they just don't put a cap on the amount of haste that a warlock can have. Like they've done it for so many other classes where they put the hard ceilings. I don't get it. All right. And then the other thing, I think everybody's found out about this one. It's kind of funny because our last podcast, I was talking about leveling up the cloak. I was wrong. So the max rank you can get on a cloak is rank 15. I stopped at 9 because I was just getting tired of doing them. And being a warlock soloing visions is not easy. But anyway, but then I was under the impression that there was something beyond that, or it was trying to get to rank 15 was really hard to do. No, apparently it's all the ranks. It's all the extra corruption resistance you can get after that. But now, for 2,000 Echoes of Nyalotha, you can get Malefic Cores from Mother after rank 15, and it just takes your corruption resistance to whatever the current maximum is today, or as many. Well, it's in steps. It's in steps.
I think it's 92 or 91 right now, and tomorrow it will be. I mean, at least for me, because I'm in EU,
Yeah.
it will be. I think it's 3 more, which is 95 or 94.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Actually, that just I should have had that because it just happened over here in NA. I completely brain farted to look at it. Where is it? It just got announced today. 98. It's 98. Wow. Holy moly. Man, if you can't stack all the corruptions you want with 98 resistance, I don't know what you're doing. Anyway, so those are the two big PvP hotfixes I just wanted to bring up. So all you have to do is get your cloak to rank 15 and farm some echoes, and you can get your cloak to 98 resistance, and then you can put however many corruptions you want that you can buy with whatever echoes you have left over.
Yeah, if you have any echoes, actually.
If you have any left over, just go farm some more.
If you get rank 115 right now, it means that your character is pretty much new to the game, so you have no echoes.
True.
Most likely.
But you get echoes from doing the visions too, right? So it kind of whatever. All right. What's up?
There's more efficient way to farm echoes, which is by winning arenas on very low MMR. Like I've seen a lot of people dropping dropping rating.
Yes.
Just so they can win arenas on lower rating, they can farm echoes that way. I think it was Cervantes that was farming around 60k echoes for like almost a week.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. We talked about that a few episodes ago, talking about how winning arena is the most efficient way of earning echoes. The trick, though, is you have to win.
Yeah.
All right. I can see why the guys are. I can see why the higher ranker players are dropping just to do that, so that they can get all the gushings that they want or all the versatiles. I don't blame them. I'd do the same thing if I could. Did you check out the Summer Bowl that happened? The finals that happened last weekend. You hear about that?
I hear about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it. I haven't really watched who won, to be honest.
All right, no worries.
I just know about it. Since I don't really follow the 1v1 that are happening in Classic right now.
Okay.
Actually, Summer Bowl was something different, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was 10v10 Warsong Gulch.
Yeah, the Warsong Gulch one, definitely. Yeah.
So
it's definitely interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy Classic. If I have to compare Classic to BF, I really enjoy Classic.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit almost on the same par. Just the bad part is that it doesn't have good class design and arenas, but that's it. It's all right. I've seen it. It's fun for people that love Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just too focused on the PvP arena scheme. I really want to get my stuff going with rating, with teammates.
Yep.
Proper teammates. I really want to climb to the highest and get the rank 1 someday.
I understand.
The first thing to get glad.
Yeah. No, I was just kind of curious because some people watch it, some people don't. I personally, because I've been playing this game since pretty much the beginning, so Warsong Gulch in the classic mode is very familiar to me. So obviously, this was very, very important to me to watch, so I watched it. There was some interesting controversy. So first of all, on the 20th and the 27th, the 28th of June was the NA qualifiers. So that determined who the top 6 teams were going to go to the NA finals that happened just last weekend. A little bit of controversy there because the rule book actually said that there was no world buffs were allowed on players or on pets. And right now it's Fire Festival. So apparently some pets ended up getting the Fire Festival. There was the plus 30 stam buff. And now, all said, apparently this had been happening for the whole weekend, but there's one team that actually called it out on another team. And so the administrators, the tournament admins, decided to do, okay, let's do a rematch. We're going to do it offline because they had to carry on with the rest of the actual stream show. But because of the way that buff works, you can't get rid of it. You can't kill the pet and then revive the pet, and it's still there. It persists through death. And because it's on the pet, you can't get rid of it. You can't just shift click it off. So the team actually had to forfeit. They decided to forfeit. They couldn't replace the player because teams are locked in. There wasn't maybe another pet was available, maybe not. I really don't know. Either way, the team was called Thank You Scaram or Skiram, however which way you say it. They ended up forfeiting the next two matches, or the replays, which, okay, fair enough. They were qualified anyways. And then when we had the finals last weekend, they apparently weren't unable to. Some of the players weren't available, so they had to forfeit the whole everything. That said, it's unfortunate. They had a very valid strategy. A lot of people didn't like it because it was a turtling strategy, and when you the way the rule set was set up, if it was 0-0 at the end, if there's no flag captures, the determining factor for winning the match was based on killing blows, and so, the team with the most kills. And so by the way they had their team set, their comp set up, they were able to kill people and then just turtle for the rest of the 35 minutes until the timer ran out, and they had all the killing blows because teams were just throwing their full weight of their team up against an impenetrable wall of death. So it's unfortunate the way it all worked out.
Very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. I'm a little miffed because I've seen a lot of anger in the community, a lot of misinformation in the community, to the point where I was having to clarify because some people were, they were forced to forfeit. Well, they were given a chance, but circumstances didn't let them play on. That said, technically, they only forfeited out of the qualifiers. They could have played in the finals, but something there just they weren't able to. I'm not sure. I don't know what the circumstances around the finals were. Anyway, that said, at the end of the day, I want to congratulate Team Apes from EU. Apparently, this is a long-standing team that had been playing on several of the private servers until Classic came back online. And,
I heard about it.
Yeah, they actually had two teams. They had Apes Bred and Apes, their main team. And both in the qualifiers for EU and for the finals, it ended up being the grand finals, Apes versus Apes Bred. So, Apes won. Congratulations to them. And the other team, which is VC, which stood for Vampires Clan, they won the NA. So congratulations to them. Let's see here. What else? Oh my goodness. How are we doing for time? Okay. All right. I just want to, the other thing I want to cheer on, Flark, a friend of ours of the show, he hosted an impromptu 3v3 tournament over on the 27th of June. I want to give a congrats. So how his tournaments are is people sign up and he randomizes the teams. So based on people's spec, and he creates the comps. So you don't even show up with a team. You just show up on your own. And he did this. And the team was, I can't remember what the specs were now. Anyways, so there was two teams that won. First place was Ron Paul, Wavy, and Riker. They got first. And the second place went to Uvar, Wet Dreams, and Draxfor. Guys, I love the character names. Love it. And then also he gave a prize to the person that was voted most valuable player for the tournament. And that was chosen by the community that was watching. And that went to Attached XO. And in total, he gave away $200. So there was $200 was given to him by the community to do this, and he gave it all away. So want to shout that out.
Really
Pardon me?
It's as I'm saying, it's really good that the community,
Oh yeah.
they make that decision.
Yeah, I think One was a streamer buddy of his that gave $100, and then another person dropped in and gave $50, and another person or a couple of the donations made the other $50. So I think it's phenomenal. Either way, I've talked about the Oasis Discord before. Jerry was one of our guests on board. So they've decided to start doing random BG boot camps to help people learn how to do random battlegrounds. Currently, it's on Thursday nights, and it's currently over on the NA Alliance side only. But if you're interested, go check it out. Discord link is in the show notes as always for all this stuff. But if you were interested, go check it out. If you're interested in helping, go check it out. Now we're going to get into some of the heavy stuff. All right. Method. Poor Method. So I know a lot of the news has come out about Method. I'm not here to judge. All I'm here to do is just announce the fact that if you haven't heard yet, a bunch of the professional esports players have left the organization. So therefore, both EU and NA teams for AWC and MDI are going to be playing under different names. They're still playing. They're just going to be under different names. I'm not sure what Method Orange and Method Black are going to be called for AWC. And I'll be honest, I looked it up and I totally forgot to write it down, what the names are for the MDI teams. But if you want to, the MDI, or over on the Warcraft website, the official website, they just did a blog post for prepping people to watch it. Go check it out there. You'll see the team names there. That's all I have to say. The only other I want to say, Method Sco, he just did a live stream a couple days ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, I am seriously concerned for his health. That's all I have to say. Me
too.
Looked distraught. He sounded depressed. And he sounded very lost. And I really hope that he finds some help, because I mean really, the guy has worked his butt off and sacrificed to build an organization to where it was. They were like the foremost leaders of kind of your grassroots esports organization that grew out of the World of Warcraft community, and now he's looking at being back to where he was 15 years ago. And I'm really worried about him. Yeah. So
I saw the VOD.
Yeah. I watched part of it. I actually had to stop because first off, it was a VOD, so I couldn't interact, and second of all, I couldn't do anything. I just wanted to reach out and give the guy a hug. Like it tore me. He obviously deeply regrets the circumstances, and it sounds like he deeply regrets the decisions that they as an organization had made. And it sounds like he feels used. He fell for the lies, and now he's being taken down by another person because he was lied to, and he believed the person, and he felt compassionate to that person. Okay. One last thing. I really hope everybody knows by now. So Byron Reckful Bernstein, on the 2nd of July, he took his own life. And the outpouring from the community just goes to show how much of an impact this man had made. Between his VODs that he made over on YouTube, his live streams, his openness about his struggles with mental health, and just how many people's lives that he impacted. And I just want to rest in peace. I am. It sucks losing a person. especially somebody that is that important that just wants the best of the community. I just hope that now Byron doesn't have to he doesn't have to struggle anymore. So there are and continue to be a number of vigils. People just listening to the same music, people that knew him, an incountable number of pictures that are showing up from the history of people interacting with him throughout the community. And I really hope that it continues. I hope that his memory continues. And my God, with that, the amount of money that's being raised to help out mental health awareness has been astounding. So there was the 2 streams that were done by Asmongold and Des Mephisto, which happened on the 3rd of July. I think in total, Asmon said he raised somewhere around 35,000, and I know Des raised around 33 or 3,400. So there's that. Big Dumb Gaming Guild and Sam I Am are also looking to do some fundraising charities for, if I remember, Rain and Diabolus. This isn't exactly tied to Rectful, but I know Diabolus, the esports organization, was already planning to do a fundraiser for Mind, and so that's coming up this weekend as well, and that one is looking pretty good. But all of it is for mental health awareness, helping people deal with mental health issues, and I think us as a community should recognize that this stuff needs to be supported.
Yeah.
One other loss, if anybody has ever listened to podcasts other than ours, there was a podcaster named Haster. Been around the organization for, I remember listening to him like 10 years ago. The guy has been, he was a bigger than life member of the podcasting community in World of Warcraft. And unfortunately, speaking of people neglecting their health, he was feeling a little under the weather, and he passed unexpectedly on the 4th of July. Or at least, sorry, that's when it was announced. I don't know if he died on the 4th or on the 3rd. Anyways, right now, it's not confirmed, but it's suspected that it was because of COVID that he died too. So, yeah, I just, people, please, if you're feeling under the weather, go see a doctor. And one last piece of news. This one is also sad to me. Josito Jones, the famed pro player, part of Team Unitas, has decided to stop playing World of Warcraft. He put a tweet out about it. He's talked about it numerous times on his stream while he's streaming, but he decided to cease playing World of Warcraft because really the time grind. He just can't do the grind that he needs to do to keep his characters relevant, and so he decided to start playing other games that he can just pick up and go. So I don't blame the guy. He had a really good run, and I don't know. I remember sitting down and talking with Team Unitas at BlizzCon, and man, those guys are passionate about what they do. They're an amazing organization. So I hope he still is part of the organization and still participates. But hopefully maybe Shadowlands he'll come back. We'll see.
Hopefully he does.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just realized I totally just rifled through all that stuff because it's how I deal with stress. Is there anything you wanted to say about any of the news?
About the news, especially for the one that actually made me cry. I literally, when I came back at home at midnight, I logged in my character. I logged my warrior. I went to Orgrimmar to kneel.
Mm-hmm.
I logged my rogue and also went to Orgrimmar to kneel as well. And I was just crying because I was watching Redfall and I know that the mental struggle that he has, the depression that he's fighting, and I know that that's not what he deserves. he was entertaining so many people. He
Yeah.
doesn't deserve that. I'm not sure what led exactly to, his decision of taking his life about it. But it's really, it's really, 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 really sad for me. I don't really know that guy. Neither I've seen him like in real life or something.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel touched by him by just watching him, and it just makes me feel really bad about that person that is now gone. Even though he
Yeah.
didn't really did anything to me, I wasn't like a subscriber or something like that to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like the amount of respect I have for what he has earned, like stream wise and World of Warcraft wise, it's insane. I literally consider him one of the best players in the game.
I I think you're not the only one.
Yeah,
He was amazing.
and watching the whole World of Warcraft community actually, in Classic and in Retail to actually gather around Stormwind and Orgrimmar to kneel down in memory of Rekfo, that that is so heartwarming and
Yeah.
so nice.
Oh yeah. Seeing the screenshots of all the people in Stormwind Cathedral or over in Orgrimmar was amazing. It
Yeah, especially from Asmongold, like the video that was posted on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
I saw exactly how many people were there.
Yeah,
It's full. Like there's no place for your character, so you can actually see your character.
exactly. I'll admit what I did. I took my main and I flew out to Tearsguard Sound, just outside of in BFA there, just outside the port city there, where his NPC was, and I hung out with his NPC for a bit. He obviously didn't know me because he just ignored me. He did his own thing, so that was okay. But I felt touched by being able to be there, and I knelt down and hung out with him for a bit. So
That's
here
really
is it.
nice.
All right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think just about the method situation.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard CDO and Wiles on stream talking about they've been talking with different organizations about it. Like there are a lot of them, a lot of organizations that they've been talking to,
Mm-hmm.
so they can represent them when the circuit comes in. And we still don't know which one it will be, but I believe it will be revealed when that actually happens, or just a few days before the circuit comes out.
Yeah. I knew that they were out shopping. I mean, whatever organization picks them up is they're. I wish all the best for the players, and any organization that picks them up is going to be nothing but lucky for what those players are going to bring to that organization.
Yeah,
That's how I personally feel. I know just when Method shut down and when Mez and Sea when Orange announced that they had left, and same with Snow Mixie. I know Snow Mixie was a lesser known streamer and she had left the organization. I went over and dropped a subscription on them, basically Mez and Snow Mixie, to help them out because I know that they were less likely or more likely to be struggling from the loss of income. That said,
yeah,
if I understand correctly, there's been a number of the streamers that were under the Method banner that have been supported by the community directly by donations or subscriptions like that. So throughout all this, everything that's happened these last couple weeks, it reminds me just how awesome our community can be, and that the crap and the troll and the edgelord stuff that we hear about is the minority, I want to say, that just becomes, it's vocal because the rest of us aren't speaking. But when we do stuff like this, it really shows just how much love there actually is in this community for us and for each other. So, okay. All right.
definitely.
Before I start crying, Vezir, do you have any
Yep.
shout outs? Is anybody in particular in your life you would like to shout out and acknowledge in your vast career in World of Warcraft and Azeroth? Sorry.
Shout out to someone.
Yeah. Somebody,
Um,
anybody.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Tyrus for
Tyrus.
him being. Yeah, do you know Tyrus?
No, I don't know Tyrus. Who's Tyrus?
he's he's a YouTuber, and he was making videos back in the day about Boomkin, like 2v2, 3v3, and montages about it in YouTube.
Okay.
He's currently playing the game. The reason why I want to shout him out is because uh, when I watched a video of him playing the Boomkin, I got captivated, and I was like, I want to try that. He's doing so many stuff, and he's just outplaying his opponents so good that it actually feels really good to be that. You feel like a god.
Yeah.
And I decided to do that. I played on a private server to do that because I couldn't afford retail. So, and I did everything that he did in these videos because I watched every single video and I was like, okay, I want to do what he's doing in in that expansion. So I did everything, like the 2v2 stuff, the 3v3 stuff, the battleground people that you just shoot star soldiers to everyone dies. You spread your dots and starfall, and you just watch so much damage on your screen you can't even see the characters. So that's really fun. He has been my inspiration to play this class. He's the reason why I play this class.
Okay.
And I met him in the arena actually.
Oh.
A few times, like 2 times.
Played against him,
And
did you?
against him. And I won the first arena, and I just completely blew my mind. But of course, I know the reason why I won that arena. And the second arena, it was a very close arena, and I lost that arena, but that's fine. I'm not mad about anything. I just highly respect that guy. I've talked to him on his Discord channel as well. We've been playing like a lot of stuff. We've been laughing and stuff like that.
Cool.
It's a really nice guy. It's a really nice, funny guy
Nice.
to hang out with. That's the guy that I want to shout out with, as he had the most impact in my WoW
That's
career,
awesome.
so to speak.
That's awesome. All right. To Tefis. All right. I'll have to go check this guy out now.
Oh, it's Tyrus.
Oh, Tyrus. Sorry.
Yes.
I had Tefis stuck in my head now. Sorry. Tyrus.
I can write it down in the Twitch chat if you want.
Yeah, if you want, actually share the name to Twitch chat, and then people will hear that. All right.
Yep.
Oh, Tyrus. Okay, that's how you spell it. All right. Tyraz. All right. Thank you very much, Tyraz, and thank you, Vezir. And I'm also I'm going to give a shout out again. We always do this to the Warcraft Radio organization that we're part of now. Normally we thank the Patreons. Normally we thank all our the people that are willing to give some of their money to the awesome content that's being made by this organization we're part of. This time though, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to point out is this organization is in need of some people in the back end. Right? We have, well, obviously they're looking for people to create content, but with creating content, there's always support that's needed on the backside. And so I'm going to tell you all, if you're interested, go to the warcraftradio.com/LFM, looking for more link. That link's going to be in the show notes again. And go and check it out. You may find, if you're willing to participate and give your efforts to the organization, you may find yourself a niche there. And I really hope that some of our listeners are willing to also become part of the organization. So there's that. Last but not least, Vezir, you said that you are a streamer. You say that you do stuff on the internet. Where can our listeners find you? Pimp your stuff.
I I stream only on Twitch. It's my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/the Vezir, and you can find me there. I'm trying to stream as much as I can recently because um, few weeks ago I wasn't streaming at all.
Okay.
Due to the BFA grind.
Yep.
I was like, I don't want to stream, but I'm like, I want to do it. I feel like the fire in me. I want to do it, and I'm gonna do it. So
Feel you,
I'm
man.
streaming there.
Yep.
It's kind of NA time,
Mhm.
so to speak. It's like an American time because of my work schedule. I work until midnight basically, so I'm free for like 6 to 7 hours after that.
All right.
Um, I stream there. You can find me there. I have a YouTube channel as well. Um,
Mhm.
you can type the Vizier and you'll find me there.
All right.
You'll see the Druid logo on fire.
I like it.
And
And,
yeah, yeah,
I say, and you're on Twitter as well, right? But you said you don't.
yeah.
You're
I
not
have a
really
Twitter,
present
yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why. I guess I just don't have that much time for that. For social activities on
Yeah.
Twitter. But you can find me there, on like twitter.com/realvizier
All
because
right.
it was taken the first one. Um,
There's a fake Vizier out there.
yeah.
I hear you. That's
And yeah,
yeah. No, hey, well, cool.
I-
And sorry, you're on Discord too, right? Did you want to pimp that, or was that a hush hush? And we're not talking about that yet.
well, do you want me to give like? Should I give my link?
yeah, wherever you, if you want people to find you, it's up to you. I wasn't sure if you wanted to. Okay,
all right.
I put you on the spot. No, it's okay. If you guys want, again, this is the links are going to be in the show notes. If you guys want, if you want that information, they can I'm sure they can reach out to you directly through Twitter or through Twitch or all those other stuff if you want, right? Sorry to put you on the spot like that. You looked a little uncomfortable.
Oh no, don't worry. I was just trying to get a link that doesn't expire, so people can join.
Okay. Well, drop that in the show notes, and I'll make sure that that's part of the when I broadcast this. So you're good. All right. So that's it for us, everybody. Really appreciate everybody for sticking around. I personally learned a lot. Thank you very much. We don't see Boomkins a lot anymore, especially after season 2. So I really appreciate it, and I Vezir, I really hope for your sake and for my alt's sake that Boomkins find a niche again in PvP in Shadowlands. Now, now that we know where to find Vezir, if anybody's trying to find us, you can find us over at the Warcraft Radio website, along with us and other many great shows at warcraftradio.com. You can contact us directly by tweeting at technically_PvP or via email, technicallypvp@gmail.com. And, of course, there's the Discord. There's the Warcraft Radio Discord that you can find us and all the other lively discussions that are going on in all of the other channels there. I want to thank everyone for listening. Vezir, thank you very much for joining us. Chat room.
Thank you for having me there.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Chat room. Thank you for being the third co-host. You lovely, lovely people. All right. That's it for us. That's it for them. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.